Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jackie with GI Side Hustles once again, guys. And I just came up here to talk to you guys about a really great conversation that I had with Justin Lee. Justin Lee is a United States Marine Corps veteran who was somebody while he was inside of the military, someone who was striving to make more than the average military income. He's somebody who was actually doing that E1 to O8 pay without ranking up, guys. This guy right here is somebody who is phenomenal inside of the construction, real estate, and business game, and someone that you guys really should be taking some knowledge and information from right now. So I want you guys to really tune in and listen to this interview that I had with Justin Lee. Guys, I want you guys to first do me one favor though. I want you to like, subscribe, and click that little bell button so you guys can stay notified on more information that I'm going to be passing out to you guys for this GI Side Hustles, right? I want you guys who are inside of the military to be able to focus on going from that E1 to O8 pay without ranking up. And I'm telling you guys, it's definitely possible, and here's some freaking proof for you all. Here's some freaking proof for you guys to be able to see that it is very much possible for you guys to lock in and stay focused and be able to go from the E1 to O8 pay and be able to have the best financial situation that you could ever have while you're inside of the military. It just takes focus. But look, I'm gonna let Justin Lee tell you guys about that. I want you guys to tune into this video with Justin, and before we get into the video, I just want to mention, okay, I had just woken up. Okay, now be honest with you guys, I just woken up, had a long family night before, just woken up. I noticed that I had something white in my hair, right? But I can't edit it out of the video, and it was too dope of a video to not put up for you guys. So, hey, whatever it takes for you guys to learn that this is one of the best things that you guys could ever do, which is focus on creating a side hustle that will pay you that O8 pay while you're still inside of the service without ranking up, guys. It is definitely possible for you to make the best amount of income that you could ever imagine. But look, here we go. 3, 2, 1. GI Side Hustles. Let's go. All right. So what's up, guys? GI Side Hustles. I'm up here with Justin. Mr. Justin Lee, you know, hey man. So Justin is he's a veteran from the United States. He has some insight, guys. He wants to give us some knowledge about money that you can be making outside of the military, things you could be doing to grow. And guys, this is a great opportunity for you to learn a lot of information from somebody who's he's stone cold. I mean, if you were in the Marines, you're a whole different level of a beast. I was in the Army, so I mean, it's a they say it's aren't ready Marines yet, and I don't know how serious it is to be a Marine. I guess I'm gonna learn today. So Justin, please let's talk to these GIs about what they can do to increase their income.
Yeah, sure thing. So we'll start off while you're in the service. For those that are still in the service, trying to earn a little extra income. When I was in the Corps, anytime I was stateside, I started my own construction business while in the Marine Corps. So every day after work, 5, 6, 7 o'clock, whatever, we got off that day. I built sheds and decks and porches and patios. A lot of it was for my NCOs and officers all across the board. And so that's kind of what I did. So I made an extra $500 or $600 a week on top of my Marine pay.
Wow.
Doing that. And I started off working for just military personnel outside of the base, and then it kind of blew up into something where I was working in the civilian sector as well. And so by the end of my 4-year term in the Marine Corps, I went back home, started my own construction business full time, and that blew up. I did it for about 10, 15 years before I sold it and started doing real estate full time. So that's kind of the process and things that find something that you like doing, something that you're passionate about, and take that and try to figure out a way to make money from it. So whether you're, doing IT or whether you're, have a software background and you want to start designing software or white labeling software or whatever you want to do, find something you're passionate about and go with it. Start small with the people you know and kind of expand from there.
Okay. Okay. That's pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. Now, being being on the outside in the civilian world, coming straight out, were there any battles that you came across trying to start up your company? Well, you already had your company started, but were there any battles that you had making the company grow to the level that it was?
Yeah, so when I first got out, I went to a completely different state, literally halfway across the country. So I was in the Corps on the East Coast side, stationed right here in North Carolina, which is where I currently live. And I went back home to Texas, and so that's where I started my construction company. Was back home, what I would call home. And so I started off a couple of weeks working with some friends, doing some HVAC work and some sign work and things like that. And I was like, man, this 9 to 5 working for somebody else just is not for me. I'm just not cut out for it. And so I decided to go full time. I went all in. It took me about a month before I started landing clients, one over it after another, and just keep going. And I think one of the biggest lessons that I've learned throughout the years is trying to do things organically is it works for starting something, but as far as growing, you always want to get some kind of advertisement out there. You always want to be looking for that next contact. And that's one of the biggest lessons I've learned, which has helped me tremendously in my real estate investing career. Using those investments in marketing definitely helps a lot when you're trying to scale a business.
Okay. So do you think it's possible for those who are in the real estate investing while they're inside now?
Absolutely. You know how many military personnel there are, staff NCO and officers that buy houses just outside of the base so they can live there because they don't want to live in base housing? Tremendous amounts.
Right.
Tremendous amounts. If their base offers off-base housing for their staff NCO and their officers, I mean, most likely it's going to be somebody of, E4 or higher because they're married, and sometimes bases might have regulations like that. But all those people that are opting out of the military, they now have to sell their house to move somewhere else if they're choosing to do so. And the best way to do that is to sell it to somebody else that's already in the military.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So whether they know you or whether somebody else knows you and they know them, it's just word of mouth. And that's the easiest thing to do. So sometimes it happens right off the bat. Somebody gets transferred overseas, and guess what? They've got a house out there, and now they have a wife and kid. They want to move with them overseas. And guess what? They have this house they're still making payments for. So that's where you come into play. You say, okay, look, hey, Sarge, Gunny, whatever it may be. You say, look, I'll take over the payments on your house for you. Okay, I'll take care of everything. We'll go to closing just like normal. You don't have to worry about a thing. I'll even buy it for full price. But the benefit is you can do that because you're going to turn around and sell it to somebody else, owner finance, at a higher interest rate, and you're going to make a little side. You're going to make a little side hustle, $300-400 a month on every payment that comes in.
See, all right, okay. So let's get a little bit more into that. Okay, all right. So, are you saying they're doing that at what would you call that? What would you call a term like that to would it be lease option? Would it be like
so that method is what we call a sub 2 wrap, or what they call a sub 3. So you're taking on ownership of a house subject to an existing mortgage, a lien, or some kind of foreclosure, some kind of note in there. You're taking the subject to at, right? And so in the process, you're going to agree to buy it at a certain price, whatever that price may be. Generally, you want to buy it under what the value is, right? Make sure that your payments that you're going to owe for that note is less than what you can sell it for. Anything extra, you're making all that extra every month, and you have the benefits of never having to own it if you wrap it onto somebody else, which is the sub 3 part.
Okay.
So basically, you're acting as the middleman. You're taking responsibility of that payment, right? And you're passing that responsibility on to somebody else. But instead of making an assignment off one deal for 5, 10, 15 grand, whatever it may be, you're making $400, $500, $600, $1,000 a month extra on top of the payments being made by the person that you just sold it to, owner financed.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you do it that way, most of the time you can make about $256,000 on one house for the lifetime of that house. Because most of the time, the people that you're getting in that house, they won't ever refinance to buy you out of that mortgage to get a conventional mortgage. They'll just keep it under because of the ease of use, and that's it.
Have you done this yourself?
Oh yes, lots of times.
So do you have something in which where like you teach people about how they can do this, or are you able to show others like how they can do something of this nature?
We currently do not do any coaching right now. I leave that on to other people out there. Some good programs I can recommend, definitely. Pace Morby is going to be one of them. And you know, there's a few others out there. I haven't taken their courses per se, but I have connected with them. I know what their teachings are. I know how they teach, and I'm connected with all their community across the board. But they have really good programs. I've heard really great things about them. What we do on our side of things is we cover the marketing aspect. We help people grow their business past the startup phase is what we do.
Wow. Okay. So marketing is what you do. Now, that leads to the next question. So you've done, because I've seen you've done, like, so you've done construction, you've done real estate investing, you've done now, so you've done marketing as well. You know, like this is pretty great, man. Would you say that any of the things that you learned inside of the military helped you be able to hone things that you're doing a lot better? Like, does it give you more discipline inside of it? Is it like what is it?
For myself, I would say no. So a little backstory on me. I've been on my own since I was 13. Wow. I had my first house when I was in high school. I bought a double wide on a little piece of land. And I lived on there while in high school by myself and had a full-time job at the same time. 3 days after graduation, left for boot camp, and it's just been growing for me ever since. So I've kind of always had that mentality of go and get whatever you want, because I was kind of forced into that kind of situation. So I have the mindset that no matter what it is that you want to do in life, if you say yes, and you take that first step forward, you will succeed, because every step after that first step is a downhill step. It gets easier and easier from there. Yes, you're going to have some uphills along the way. Yes, you're going to have some pushback.
Right.
But for the most part, as long as you keep the momentum going, you're going to get there. Sometimes twice as fast than you would if you were doing it any other way.
Right. All right.
See this house right here behind me?
Yeah.
I took 3 years out of my life to build this house by myself.
You built that house?
Built that house with my own two hands with zero help.
Hey, dude. Hey. All right, look, man. We don't come up here for games, man. Look, hey, you built that house behind you that I'm looking at in this image behind you. This looks like, is that
the house that I'm living in right now? This is my house.
That is your house with your own two hands.
My own two hands, zero help. I've got videos all across YouTube with me building this all by myself.
Okay, all right. I got to see these YouTube videos. You got okay. This when he says he has proof, you know, there's nothing you can do when I have video, guys.
It was a long, tedious process, and I would have to say, even with the military included, growing up by myself, you know, from teenage years, this was probably the hardest thing I've ever done. And it's one thing I've always had the mindset that I wanted to do ever since I was a little kid, wanting to build my own house. Now, a house this size was my wife's idea, not my idea. But so this is 4,500 square feet of livable space, not including a 4-car garage.
You got to be kidding. You know what? Hey, your wife got a good one. Okay, I don't know. Man.
Yeah. So the biggest thing you take from any of this is, no matter the obstacle, as long as you take that first step, just do it. You can learn many things along the way. There was a lot of things that I didn't know when I built this house here. When I first started, I knew nothing about, but I took the knowledge and the time to figure out how to do it while I was doing it, to make it happen. And you know what? It's turned out just as good as if I would have hired a contractor to do it. But I saved 60% of the cost.
Right. Dude.
When I finished this house here, we had $600,000 in equity already in the house after 3 years. $600,000 in equity right off the bat.
Right, because you never had to spend money on anybody else doing anything for you.
Exactly. And those are the kind of investments you need to make throughout your career when you're doing things. Find something you're passionate about. So find something that you want to do and figure out how to make money off of it.
That makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. I personally can say, you know, my biggest thing that I've always learned how to do is that I'm a great connector, right? So I connect people with one another. I connect you to the others. I connect others to them. I connect others to you. It's my favorite thing to do, and I can personally speak for it and say that is a very true statement, dude. You just gotta go for it. As you learn what you're good at, you just gotta go for it, man. This is the dopest thing I've ever seen since I've been doing. Listen to me. There is no way. I'm looking at a 4,500 square foot home right now. This man built by himself, and it looks like you have a very big piece of land that you have this house sitting on. This is crazy. This is I want to know how to do this now. I mean, I've had dreams of building my house, but this is wow.
Yeah, this is just a small part of what I've accomplished in my lifetime, but this is probably one of the biggest ones as far as myself, accomplishments. This is definitely one that I'm probably the most proud of at the moment. We've got a lot of steps we're taking in the future as far as what we want to do with, our end outcome of what we want to leave behind to everybody else. But this is probably one of the biggest wow factors for most people, saying, God, if he can do this and build that with his own two hands all by himself, why can I not go over here and do this? Because you can, and you should, and you will.
Right. You're 100% right. Yeah, there's no reason not to do anything now that I've seen a man build pretty much half of a mansion or an entire mansion. I
feel sorry for my kids, because when they grow up, they're going to know that I built this house, right?
Right.
So all I got to do is say, look, guys, if I can do this, you should be able to do this one little bitty thing. And I just want you to put the effort in. Get the knowledge. I'll help you get the knowledge. So whatever it is that you're wanting to do, put the effort in. Do not quit until you succeed. It doesn't matter what the ups and downs are. It's the end result, that outcome. That's what you want.
So my question to you is this. Let's say you're doing something, you're working really hard at it. It's something that they said, man, it should only take about $40,000 worth of information. You failed the first time, so you lost that entire first 40. Now you're into it. You get up to the point where you're at like $100,000. Are you saying if as soon as you get to that end goal, you become successful at making this one thing happen, you can do it again and again and again, and the 100,000 that you lost before doesn't matter? Or is it like when you get to a certain number, it's like, all right, dude, like you're way past the investment threshold? Like how would you weigh that?
So the way I look at things, and there's been many moments in my life where I've spent an enormous amount of money and or time on something that should have not have taken me as long or should not have cost as much money. But the thing that you have to learn about it, the knowledge and the experience you're going to learn from that one thing is not a loss. That's building your future, building your mindset towards the next obstacle. You didn't lose. You didn't fail at that one thing. What you did is you learned how not to do it that way. So what you need to do is sidestep, take that different trail, take that different path, different set of tools, or maybe even the same tools. You just learn how to use them this time and try again.
Mm, okay. Okay. That makes a lot of sense, man. Keep pushing. No matter what, just keep pushing with it.
Yep. The steady movement forward is what's going to help you succeed.
Okay. Okay. That's like that makes a lot of sense. It's not about the time, it's not about the money, it's just about you completing the task that needs to be done.
Think about it this way. When you're in the military, you went on hikes.
Right?
You're wearing the pack, right? Did you run the whole way there?
No, you didn't.
No, it was a nice steady walk, right? You went on a little nature walk. Guess what? You probably went 15, 20, 30, 50 miles, right?
Right.
It's the same concept. Doesn't matter how much you put on your back. You go at a nice steady pace. You always move forward. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to get there.
Right. Right. It makes a lot of sense. You just keep taking one step forward. That's it. That's all you keep doing. Don't retreat and go backwards. Don't look at it.
Man, if you got to stop and take 5 minutes, stop and take a month, whatever it is. If you need that rest, both mentally and physically, do it. There's nothing stopping you.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't let that rest get in the mindset, destructive path that it happens to along a lot of people. Don't let it interrupt what your outcome is, what your goal is.
Understood. Okay. All right, Justin. Well, Justin, this has been like one of the greatest conversations that I've had. This has been very motivational. I hope anybody that watches this video, anybody that takes a second to just understand what you've just told us about, understand the amount of motivation you had to have, just an amount of motivation, determination, just to do one of your, when you say could it be one of the smallest accomplishments, one of the biggest ones you've ever made, which is building this house behind you. One of the things of building a company, dude, like, hey, you're a strong man, dude. And I really appreciate you coming up here and talking to these GIs, man, and letting them know there's no reason to fail. There's no reason to stop pushing, man. This is, and I really do appreciate this, man. I really do mean that. I really do mean that a lot.
Yeah, but just got to remember that there's much bigger life outside of the military. The military is easy because you're told what to do, when to do it, whatever else. Get that past that mentality, okay? Get past that mindset where you need to be told what to do every step of the way. Just try to figure out the path that you want to take without someone telling you what you need to do to get there. It doesn't matter if they tell you how to do it or the best way to do it. It's up to you to figure out whether you want to take that path or not.
Right. Okay. Right. Hey, man, it's 100% true. The military is not, those four walls in the military aren't the only walls to live inside of. And that's very true. Man. Is there any way that people can reach back out to you, connect with you? Is there something that you have, like a page or something that they can go to? And
man, we've got pages all over the place. So the biggest one that you can probably reach me at anytime is going to be Facebook. And my Facebook page is My Powerhouse Marketing.
Okay.
And if you guys want to schedule a time to talk with me, just hit me up at schedule.powerhousemm.com. That's powerhousemichaelmichael.com.
Okay. Got it. I'm going to be posting it up here on the screen, guys. So once, if you haven't seen it before I just said, I'm going to post it up here on the screen. It's going to be up there on the screen, guys. It's also going to be inside of the description below. I want you guys to please go check out Justin. He's a really great guy, as you guys can see. Justin, thank you again for this conversation, man. And hey, more power to you, man. Anything you want to say to him before you go?
Wish you guys the best of luck. Just remember, if you need help, don't be afraid to ask for it. There's tons of people out there that have the experience. Even if it's not free, it's always going to be worth the knowledge.
Understood. All right, Justin. Well, thanks, man. Have a great one. Man, I want to come see your house now. I want to check it out on YouTube though. If you could send me your YouTube link on Facebook, and I'm gonna check that out as soon as we get off the phone.
All right, cool.
All right, man. Have a good one, Justin.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.